Chael Sonnen couldn't resist taking a jab at his old rival after watching Wanderlei Silva get flattened in one of the strangest and ugliest fight endings of the year.
So there he is. Wanderlei's down and out. Now Wanderlei Silva, look at that, he's getting dragged out by his arms. Unconscious like that. I mean, that's not a good look. He's still out. Jesus. Let's just have another look at that. Oh, man.
The American, who has built a reputation for clowning Silva ever since their infamous rivalry days, mocked the Brazilian legend for being laid out cold not by a professional opponent, but by the son of the man he was supposed to be fighting. For Sonnen, this was the kind of ending that seemed to almost write itself, and for Silva, it was a humiliating chapter in a career already filled with controversy, wars, and more than a few setbacks.
Wanderlei thought it was maybe a little bit more serious than it was. My barbs were pretty light, but they were there, but they were pretty light. So he decided premeditatedly that he was going to use this opportunity where it's just he and I to confront this.
Can you just tell me the date?
You wanna know.
Come on, I just talk to you.
You wanna know.
I'm just asking you. Vandal, stop.
You wanna know. Now, instead of doing what I think production would have liked, which is just some engaging, some verbal banter, it turned physical, and I could feel this coming. No. I don't think you guys would think I was a coward. You would think this probably makes sense to share with you. The idea of fighting Wanderlei Silva isn't really on my list of fun things to do in life in general.
You have to stop. Please stop.
But I have an ego too.
I can't let you get close.
Can you hear my Stop.
The bizarre night unfolded in Sao Paulo, Brazil at Spartan Fight Night 2, where Silva had decided to make a comeback after 7 long years away from combat sports. His opponent wasn't the man fans were originally expecting. The matchup was initially meant to be against Vitor Belfort, but Belfort pulled out of the fight after suffering a concussion during training camp. In his place, Acelino Popo Freitas stepped in, a decorated former 2-time world boxing champion with a record stacked with experience inside the squared circle. Silva, at 49 years old and with countless wars behind him, had fought not since 2018, when Quentin Rampage Jackson knocked him out at Bellator 206. Many questioned whether this return was a wise choice, and Belfort himself, who attended the event despite withdrawing, later blasted Silva for even agreeing to fight an elite pro boxer on short notice.
I don't know if you guys saw, Spartan Fight Night 2 went down in Brazil, and Wanderlei Silva competed in his first fight since losing to Rampage Jackson. He fought a gentleman by the name of Acelino Freitas in the main event. It was supposed to be an exhibition fight. Wanderlei Silva is like 50 pounds bigger than him. Freitas was just kind of tagging Wandy around in the first round. It wasn't looking good. And Wanderlei Silva apparently listens to a lot of our shows. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to cheat a whole bunch. Headbutts, got 3 points taken away, and then gets disqualified. And Freitas celebrates the DQ. He gets up, literally jumps on the freaking turnbuckle.
That was
celebrating the DQ.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It was the best part of the whole thing.
It's so funny.
Because, like, if you were tuning in to the one semi-illegal stream that was up on YouTube of the, just like a guy streaming it, not associated with the event, I'm pretty sure. He wasn't like the broadcast wasn't like doing a replay of what happened. It was just showing this dude in victory pose, and Wanderlei's unconscious. You'd be like, oh, Vandy got knocked out, and that's not what happened. But that guy was just like, I am the champion, and it ruled.
Yes.
And wait, that was before Wanderlei got knocked out?
Oh, yeah. So DQ happens. He celebrates. Referee calls it. He wins by DQ. He's like, yeah. And then all hell breaks loose.
Well, the whole thing was just chaotic and crazy because you're just like, what? The fight had devolved into insanity because Wanderlei should have gotten DQ. Like, that was reasonable. Like, he's losing, and then he's just cheating.
When the bell rang, things didn't go according to plan. Silva was clearly the more reckless man inside the ring, and after repeatedly driving his head into Freitas in round 4, the referee had no choice but to disqualify him. The disqualification alone could have been the headline moment of the night, but what came next was far more dramatic and damaging to Silva's legacy. As tempers boiled over, chaos erupted inside the ring. Cornermen, family members, and team members from both sides stormed in, and within seconds the event turned into a mass brawl. The Brazilian icon, known for his wild intensity throughout his fighting days, found himself caught up in the melee. While trying to navigate the chaos, Silva was suddenly struck by a man in a tuxedo. At first, no one was quite sure who the mystery attacker was. Initial fan footage spread across social media showing Silva going down hard from a clean punch that left him motionless on the canvas. The shocking clip left viewers stunned, but the attacker's identity remained uncertain until new angles and images surfaced.
Acelino Popo Freitas. Okay, now if you saw leading up to this, Wanderlei Silva missed weight by a ridiculous amount. I saw reports online that he missed weight by 40 pounds, okay? And if that wasn't bad enough, then he's headbutting the guy multiple times in the fight. Here, have a look at this. I mean, you can't blame his people or his crowd for being pissed off. Watch this here. Boom! I mean, that's as clear as day. That's a nasty headbutt. And that wasn't just one headbutt, there was multiple. There was a lot. So he was taking the piss. He was headbutting him several times. He missed weight by 20 pounds or 40 pounds, whichever one it is. I haven't been following Spartan Fight League too closely. But then also he wasn't paying attention to what the referee was saying. The referee disqualifies him and then all hits the fan.
Popó vai golpeando, sequência de cruzados, Popó tenta reagir, de novo a cabeçada do Wanderlei, de novo, Popó, Freitas, Wanderlei Silva, é a briga generalizada, aí não, as duas equipes acabaram, aí não é esse exemplo que a gente quer passar, não é esse exemplo.
It didn't take long for the man to be revealed. The punch that flattened Silva came from none other than Rafael Freitas, the son of Acelino Freitas. Rafael, who had some boxing experience of his own, had been ringside that night and joined the chaos when fists started flying. His own brother Juan Freitas even posted about the incident on Instagram, tagging Rafael and praising him with a message that essentially congratulated him for knocking out the legendary fighter. That post didn't last long and was quickly deleted, but the damage was already done. Rafael himself soon deactivated his Instagram account after being identified as Silva's attacker. The knockout itself wasn't minor. Silva, already battered from the fight, was left with a broken nose after being struck by Rafael. He was already taken to the hospital for tests and treatments where doctors confirmed the fracture.
Olha como tá meu olho. Mas como eu tô com muita dor de cabeça, eu vou realizar novos exames aqui em Curitiba para poder identificar se eu tive alguma lesão mais grave na cabeça ou não. E esse foi o estrago causado ontem, olha aí.
Generalizada, aí não. As duas equipes acabaram, aí não é esse exemplo que a gente quer passar, não é esse que ele queria estar vivendo, não é esse o exemplo que os atletas...
Obrigado, pessoal, pela torcida, obrigado por todas as mensagens, realmente vocês são maravilhosos. É muito bom poder contar com os amigos nessas horas, tá? Valeu, pessoal.
Silva wasn't the only one who weighed in after the madness. Fabricio Werdum, former UFC heavyweight champion and one of Silva's cornermen that night, was furious about what went down. He explained that Silva's side was heavily outnumbered inside the ring. According to Werdum, he, Silva, Andre Dida, and Silva's son Thor were the only ones defending themselves against a wave of around 20 people from Freitas' side. Werdum insisted they were merely reacting to attacks and said Rafael's punch was particularly cruel since Silva was already exhausted, still wearing his gloves and in no position to defend himself. Werdum confirmed the broken nose and stitches, labeling Rafael's actions as malicious.
Fala pessoal, eu tô aqui no hospital com o Wanderlei, né, depois dessa maldade que fizeram com ele, né, acho que as imagens não mentem, né, e acho que todo mundo viu o que aconteceu, né, tava eu, o Dida e o Thor, né, para quem não sabe, o Thor é o filho do Wanderlei, e quando a gente entrou no ringue, quando tinha acabado, o Wanderlei foi desclassificado. Entrou não sei quantas pessoas do lado do Popó, acho que não sei, depois ali em cima de uns 20. E só estava eu, Wanderlei, o Thor e o Dida. Então, para vocês entenderem, eu acho que as imagens não mentem, né? Foi uma reação nossa, uma reação do ataque deles, entendeu? Porque eles começaram a gritar e vieram para cima e a gente estava ali entre 4. Wanderlei, um lutador e mais 3 corners. E eles estavam ali, chegou um momento que tinha mais de 20 pessoas do lado deles. E a maldade desse cara, que eu nem sei quem é ainda, esse cara que deu um soco no Wanderlei foi assim, é muita maldade. Ele deu um soco, a gente vai poder ver nas imagens ali. Vou até colocar para vocês verem que ele deu um soco na nuca do Wanderlei. E eu não sei se ele pegou muito bem, mas ele podia ter feito uma coisa muito grave. O Wanderlei está aqui no hospital agora, tomando os pontos nos olhos, quebrou o nariz do Wanderlei, quebrou o nariz dele, porque ele foi muito maldoso, cara. O Wanderlei estava com as luvas, cansado da luta, e tudo começou com a equipe do Popó. Vocês viram? Eu acho que não tem como não. Que bom que tem as imagens, a verdade é essa. E como é que eu não vou reagir a um ataque deles, né? Com a minha família, que é meu amigo há mais de 25 anos. Como é que eu não vou reagir, né, com o ataque daqueles ali, tanta gente em cima do ringue deles, né? Então é isso que eu queria falar para vocês. E eu acho que todo mundo viu. Óbvio que eu tô triste, é uma situação horrível, é uma briga, um evento irado, um evento bonito, o cuidado que a Spartan teve com tudo, foi assim impressionante. O evento assim, o tratamento, tudo. E acontecer um negócio desse aí para nós, né, lutadores, pro nosso esporte é horrível. Não gostei, mas eu não podia ficar parado, né, esperando eles nos atacarem do jeito que eles já estão acostumados, que já tem antecedentes, né? Eles têm antecedentes já, eles fazem os tumultos deles e a gente conseguiu ver. Então eu tô feliz, assim, feliz por um lado das imagens, é por isso, porque acho que todo mundo vai poder ver quem começou a briga, né, que foi a equipe do Popó, entendeu? Então é isso. Só queria falar para vocês, tô triste pelo Wanderlei estar ali tomando os pontos, com o nariz quebrado, né? Foi desclassificado, a luta é uma coisa, é completamente diferente, foi a luta, foi desclassificado, tudo bem, não dá nada. Mas ter a reação deles ali, o ataque deles, a gente teve que reagir. Imagina se a gente se encolhe, eu acho que todo mundo viu, né? Eu, Wanderlei, Thor e o Dida, contra 20 deles. Acho que todo mundo viu. E eu vou colocar as imagens para vocês verem, tá? Mas até também queria me desculpar com tudo que aconteceu, que foi horrível, é horrível. Então eu saí agora, eu tive que sair para falar para vocês, porque a gente fica triste com essa situação, tá, pessoal? Eu acho que todo mundo podia ter a sua leitura com as imagens que estão aparecendo aí embaixo, tá bom? Valeu.
On the other side of the aisle, Acelino Freitas offered a completely different version of events. The Brazilian boxing icon claimed that it was Silva's team who sparked the chaos. He singled out Werdum as the main instigator, accusing him of charging at him and even trying to choke him during the fight-ending madness. Freitas said he was hurt during the altercation and expressed his frustration at Werdum being included in the event in the first place, labeling him a habitual troublemaker. While Freitas didn't directly acknowledge that his son had delivered the knockout punch, he defended his family and shifted the blame entirely onto Silva's corner. Later,
porque da outra vez ele queria lutar comigo com a luva que ele inventou, entendeu? Que é uma luva que ele lançou. Aí depois queria lutar comigo com mais de 30 quilos. Eu falei, pô, você não quer lutar então, entendeu? A mesma coisa ele fez agora com o Wandy. E provavelmente vai ter uma segunda opção, o pessoal do Spartan Fight Night tem que deixar, toda vez que vocês convidarem o Vitor Belfort para lutar, tem uma segunda opção, possa ser que ele pipoque de novo. Fui sondado para lutar com o Pacquiao, na preliminar do Jack Paul, mas não foi para frente. Aí depois me ofereceram o Marcos Antônio Barreira também, me ofereceram o menino que nocauteou o Pacquiao,
Marquês?
O Marques também, mas nada, só especulação. O meu Éder, certa vez quando eu lutei contra o João Casamaior, ele foi na coletiva de imprensa, foi lá, fez o maior escândalo, desafiou e até hoje eu tô esperando ele.
The reactions from the wider combat sports world added even more layers to the story. Michael Bisping, who once fought Silva in the UFC and still believes he was robbed on the judges' scorecards in their bout, didn't hold back his feelings. Bisping pointed out Silva's long history with performance-enhancing substances and criticized his behavior inside the ring against Freitas, particularly the repeated headbutts. To Bisping, Silva's knockout was kind of poetic justice. He suggested that Silva got what was coming to him after blatantly cheating and called the situation a sad fall from grace for someone who was once admired worldwide as one of the most feared fighters in MMA.
As you can see here, there's Wanderlei It's all going mental. Wanderlei's pushed back. He's got his boxing gloves on. In a fist fight now, and then look at this here now. What? Boom! Uppercut down, out, cold, and he ain't moving. I mean, that is a bad knockout, and then the action still carries on. I say action, I mean the madness, the melee, the brawl, the violence, whatever you want to call it.
Spaden Fight Night, the promotion behind the event, released a public statement distancing itself from the chaos. The organization condemned the post-fight brawl and emphasized its commitment to sportsmanship and respect for the rules. It made clear that what happened in the aftermath of Silva's disqualification did not represent the principles they wanted to promote. All of this turned what should have been a nostalgic return for Wanderlei Silva into one of the most chaotic and embarrassing nights of his storied career. Instead of a triumphant comeback, fans saw him fouled out of an exhibition, caught in a brawl, and finally knocked out cold by a man who wasn't even part of the scheduled fight. For fans who had followed Silva through his Pride days, his UFC run, and all the way to his chaotic return in Brazil, it was a painful reminder of how unforgiving combat sports can be. Time and mileage had clearly caught up with the axe murderer, and what should have been a showcase of nostalgia instead spiraled into a night many would rather forget.